eCommerce SEO guide for Shopify, BigCommerce, 3dCart and Wix Store Owners. Keep in mind, search engine optimization is a pivotal element for online success, especially for an online store owner. Watch this video to understand the ins and outs of SEO and how to optimize your store so you can get the traffic, conversions, and sales you deserve. The sweet thing is, SEO tactics properly applied to one store, say Shopify, can be replicated on other stores you might own on other platforms such as BigCommerce and 3dCart. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. How are you doing today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous if you were to ask me, and if you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. Today I want to talk to you about e-commerce SEO, and let's quickly get into the nitty-gritty here. Let me give you a quick introduction to SEO. What is SEO and why should you learn about it? Search engine optimization is the process of implementing strategies and techniques both on-site and off-site to achieve a higher rank in search engine results. Typically, the higher a site ranks in the search results, the more visitors it receives. So understanding search engine algorithms and optimizing for them are instrumental in boosting traffic to your online business. If you think about it, you want to be on the first page of Google search results. After all, most online shoppers start the buying process by using a search engine. So if you have a well-optimized site, you'll rank higher in search results and increase the chance of a potential shopper finding and shopping with you. It's a great tool to have in your arsenal, especially if your business has lots of online competition. And the Lord knows if you're online, whether you're on Shopify or BigCommerce, you have a whole bunch of competition. Now, how do search engines work? To learn SEO strategies, you'll first need to understand how search engines such as Google, Bing, or Yahoo work. Search engines use bots. So those are called crawlers or spiders to crawl, quote unquote, to crawl the web and index the pages they come across. This index content is analyzed so the search engines can understand, if you will, the content on each page. This information is used to determine which content is most relevant for each user's search query, which the search engine then provides in a ranked format. So the algorithms used for this process, the search engine determining which content is most relevant, they are different for each search engine. So the one that Bing has versus the Google one, those are different. So they're constantly updated, those algorithms. So you will need to make sure any strategy or guides you are using are current. However, certain criteria remain constant. Things like keyword relevance, dwell time, click-through rate, and site speed are important for algorithms. These are the attributes that you will focus on for improving your SEO techniques. Let me repeat those: the dwell time, the keyword relevance, the click-through rate, and site speed. Now, most big e-commerce platform providers, from BigCommerce to Shopify to 3dCart and Wix, they have several SEO features right out of the box. So this includes optimized URLs, unique URLs, microdata, in other words, rich snippets into each product pages to enhance your search results listing with information like ratings, pricing, brand, and stock levels. You have 301 redirects and URL rewrites. So if you rename a product, the auto-populated URL will adjust to reflect the name change. And there's something called CDN. So CDN is Content Delivery Network. So basically, this is the basics you need to know about SEO. And now let's talk about the SEO fundamentals and how they apply to your online store. One thing you have to understand is that SEO has evolved over the years as Google, Bing, and other search engines regularly update their algorithms and processes to present the most relevant content. So more and more search engines are incorporating machine learning to track and measure user behavior, and they make it just as important to optimize your customer's experience as it is to optimize content. So you have to optimize customer experience, interaction, user friendliness of the content, as well as the content itself. So when you think of SEO, think search engine optimization and search experience optimization. Now, SEO is a journey. It's not a destination. As I said before, the SEO landscape and the algorithm that are part of it change all the time. You want to tailor your SEO to shoppers, not search engines, right? Because the shoppers' behavior will tell the search engine whether your website is good or not. So don't get bogged down by publishing keyword-heavy content to satisfy search engines. You want things that are readable. You want content that is readable, not keyword stuff, non-readable content. Remember though that content is king. So you want to be very careful about the kind of content you put on the website. It has to be unique. It has to be original. It has to be captivating. It has to include everything from product descriptions, because we are talking about online store. It has to include product descriptions, to blog posts, to videos and images, to your About Us page. Very important. Also, the Contact Us page is kind of important too. Remember that when it comes to online store, SEO plus design equals success. So you want to implement a great strategy for SEO, but you also want to design a captivating, welcoming page. So effective content curation, better accessibility practices, and proper information architecture are all part of the arsenal that you should have if you want to have ultimately a strong SEO strategies. One thing that's important though, that you want to make sure that you also optimize the most important pages first. How do you do that? It is essential for you to focus your optimization on the most important pages first. Every business is different, so you want to customize things based on your business. However, generally speaking, your category pages, product pages, and homepage are your most visited pages. So if you're not sure which page to prioritize, use tools like Google Analytics and Ahrefs, the Ahrefs Site Explorer, to see the pages that get the most traffic for you. These are just some of the concepts that you need to be mindful of when developing your SEO strategy. Now, I'm going to talk about the technical aspect of SEO in the next session, and what you can have, the kind of settings, the kind of features you have on your platform, on your online platform, to get you started. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We're also having a conversation here around e-commerce SEO guide for Shopify, BigCommerce, 3dCart, and Wix Store Owners. Now let's talk about technical SEO. If you love the content clarity and quality so far, please consider subscribing to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you can be informed in real time whenever we release a new show. And we release this kind of shows every single day, rain or shine. Like this content, share, and comment below. Now that you understand some of the key concepts of SEO, it's time to start optimizing. So now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the technical aspects of SEO, what to do with them, and what you can do to automatically make sure you start on the right foot. First, let's talk about the site architecture. So site architecture is the usability and crawlability of your site. This is an essential aspect of SEO and especially important for an e-commerce site. You want the algorithm, the Google algorithm or the Bing algorithm, to be able to crawl your website. And there is something called, there's a link structure, a sitemap, that tells a search engine what to crawl. So your homepage is the core piece, that apex or trunk, if you will, which acts as the hub of your store. So that hub then connects out to the rest of your site. So this is something you have to be very important. Now, your pages are built using proper HTML elements and hierarchy, so they are well organized and easy for search engines to crawl. Now, all the big platforms out there have already done the pre-work for you. So if you choose, again, Shopify, BigCommerce, 3dCart, and Wix, among others, they already have their platform and the pages that you are using on their platform already embedded with all those SEO ready elements. Now, besides the site architecture, you have to think about the URL structure and settings. So those platforms, they will usually auto-populate SEO-friendly URL for every page of your store, so you can control how they are formatted within your store settings. Now, if you're unsure about whether or not to customize them, I recommend leaving them to SEO optimized. That's short. You also have to think about automatic redirects and rewrites. Those help search engines understand when you've made changes or moved pages on your site. So you can also manually set 301 redirects. You can also, and this is very helpful, if you have moved from another platform or removed content and need to redirect the old pages. The last thing you want is to have a 404 error, a broken link. That's really bad for SEO. Let's talk about site-wide encryption. Back in 2014, Google announced that HTTPS will be a factor in search ranking algorithm. With the release of Chrome 68, Google made a push to label any site not using HTTPS as not secure. So HTTPS alone may be a lightweight ranking factor, but the label of not secure can negatively impact your store's user experience. You have to think about mobile experience also. That's very important. If you want to improve or optimize your SEO metrics, we all know more than ever your website needs to be mobile optimized. So Google announced that they started moving to a mobile first index, so it's important to be ready for it sooner rather than later. And they decided they will be doing this in September 2020. So this is something that's very important. Now, all those big players in the e-commerce space, they have mobile optimized website, so no questions there. Also, you have to think about the site speed. Search engines aim to give users the best search experience possible, so it's a given that site speed is a factor in ranking. So Google has stated that 2 seconds is the threshold for e-commerce website acceptability, so that should be your benchmark. There are many other benefits to making your site faster, such as higher conversions, better user experience, and lower abandoned cart. So although there are many things you can do to increase your site speed, you have to make sure that you sign up with a big player in the e-commerce space so that you can benefit from their expertise in terms of ultra fast site speed. Let's talk about developing a keyword strategy. This is another important element when it comes to online e-commerce SEO guide. So no matter what industry your e-commerce store is in, it's just vital that you know your target audience before diving in and planning your SEO strategy. Now, there are several ways to kind of tackle this. You need to think first about what's really important for your audience. That's where market research comes in. So market research can help you understand your customers' need and pain points, allowing you to create content that's tailored specifically to them. So it can also help you better understand your direct competitors by identifying, for example, which keywords and phrases they are focusing on in their SEO campaigns. So this can help you avoid keywords where competition is high and take advantage of those they're not using. Think about that. So the words that make up a query are commonly referred to as keywords. And these are a foundational element of SEO. Since the ultimate goal of your SEO strategy is to help people find your business or products, what more logical place here to start than optimizing your site to best match their searches? That will be wonderful, right? So you need to select the right keywords and strategically place them in key areas of your pages. I'm talking about your product page, your category page on your blog, for instance. This is not rocket science, but it does take a little time and dedication. When you're ready, you just need to go onto your site, onto your store page, and start working on your keyword strategy. And you have to know the keywords that attract the right customers. Now, if you know your industry pretty well, if you own an online store, chances are you already know the keywords that appeal to your customers. And once you do that, you have several tools out there on the internet There is a Google Keyword Planner that you can use to find out exactly what some of the top keywords, especially the long-tailed keywords, those that are long enough and they are not that competitive, because you don't want to start fighting on a keyword with a company like IBM or a company like Walmart or H&M. You don't have the budget they can outbid you, and they will outbid you. So you want to go for those keywords that are less competitive. And once you do that, you can track results, so you can learn more about your target customers and make improvements on what keywords resonate better with them. Let's now talk about keyword rich content. Once you know the keywords that matter to your audience, you need to start developing keyword rich content. What do I mean by that? You want to put all of your market and keyword research to use. And I'm going to tell you why it's critical to gather a keyword list, where your keywords should go, traps to avoid, and where you should focus your efforts. A significant part of optimizing your store is featuring the right keywords in the right places, if you think about it. And this is also known as on-page SEO. So you want to create content using keywords from your research so that you can help search results and the algorithm understand the content of your pages so they can provide appropriate results. And the bottom line here is that shoppers will be happy that they found exactly what they were looking for when they started searching. So content is one of the building blocks of SEO. So that's what search engines use to determine the usefulness of a page. So search engines use bots to crawl content across the internet, which is then indexed and referenced when someone enters a search query. So when your content is relevant to someone's search, your page will be shown alongside other related content. So those results show a summary about your page, a page's subject matter, so users know what a page is about before they even click on it. So this summary consists of page titles and something called meta descriptions. And let's just go through it here. So you have the page tags and the meta descriptions. And I want to quickly just go through. As you can see here on the screen, we have here peppermint essential oil and bulk apothecary. So this basically tells you that no matter what your page has been used, product, blog post, each page should have a page title and meta description. So your page title, which uses an element called a title tag, appears in search results and when a page is shared on social media. So every page should have a unique page title, be less than 60 characters, and should target a short and long tail keyword. Now note that Google may change your meta description and title tag to better match search queries though. You cannot, you have nothing there to, there's nothing you can do about it, but it's important to know that. Now, what about content strategies? You got to have content strategies. You need to think about how you're going to feed relevant content to your particular pages, to your product categories, to your product pages, to your home page, to your about page. And this, you can do that through blogging. So this should be periodic blogging to really know that. Now, when creating keyword rich content, you want to avoid keyword stuffing and duplicating content, because keyword stuffing is the practice of loading a page with keywords in an attempt to manipulate your ranking and search results to the point that the content is hard to read or unnatural. So search engines like Google and Bing will penalize you for this, which in some cases can lead to having your listings removed from search results altogether. So therefore, we just do not advise you to use that tactic. You also have to think about the homepage, right? Your homepage is one of the most important pages to focus your SEO efforts on. So this is typically the most visited page along with products, category, and blog pages. So as well as the title and meta description fields mentioned earlier, you want to optimize the rest of the content such as images, very important, text, and promotions. That's pretty important. Last but not the least, you want to exhibit your best products and content. For instance, the blog post of testimonials by using product panels and banners. You also have to think about your category pages, as I said before, your product pages. When it comes to product, you want to start with your best selling or highest converting products first, and you work from there. Be sure to include your main keyword and a handful of medium and long tail keywords, but don't go overboard. Now, other elements to consider here are images. So this can be product images or infographics, video. Try to include a video whenever you can to make your product pages more engaging. Social proof. So customer reviews and testimonials are another great way to boost SEO because they provide a multitude of benefits like additional content, answers to common questions or concerns, and more. And product suggestions. So you can upselling and cross-selling can improve your average order value and help build internal links to products your shoppers may not have been aware of. Also, you want to add an FAQ. An FAQ section can provide an outlet for you to address questions or concerns that you were not able to include in your product descriptions. So they give you another means to incorporate your keywords and can also help boost your conversion rate. Now, you also want to feed great content to your blog pages. And one thing that's very important when it comes to content creation is that if you don't have a knack for writing, there are a lot of platforms out there that will help you. That will help you create excellent content, from Textbroker to Upwork to Fiverr to iWriter to Contentfly. The list is endless. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Keyword. We're also having a conversation here around online e-commerce SEO, online store SEO. Let's talk now about link building. I'm going to give you a quick intro to link building. Link building, also known as off-page SEO, is the process of collecting backlinks. Now, backlinks or incoming links are links on another websites that connect back to yours. They are an essential part of your SEO and ranking well in search engine such as Google. Backlinks give you store credibility or authority with search engines. So search engines crawl links to discover new sites and content. So when other sites link back to your content, they are essentially endorsing the quality of that content. However, it's not enough to have something worth linking back to. The sites linking back to you must also have authority. It's much better to acquire a few high quality links than a ton of low quality ones. So if you have a valuable content in, as I said before, you should be on your way to acquiring pretty good backlinks, right? Now let's talk about competitor research. You can also do some research. There is a resource called Ahrefs that can help you spy on your competitors' keywords, but also help you find where they are getting their links. So they have a tool that will show you the sites link into your competitors and the quality of those links. So once you found the link on in Ahrefs, sort them by highest quality and review them for opportunities. For example, if you notice that they're getting links from bloggers, you can reach out to them and begin building relationships. If their blog posts are top list or niche specific, ask them to include you with your competitors or pay them to write a blog post. If you notice a site link into other competitors, try and get a link from them as well. So what I'm trying to say here is that in the end, if your content is better, they will be happy to link to you, which is why you want to work on the quality of your content first. Let's talk about influencers. You can also use influencers to beef up your content. You can find influencers on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, Twitter, YouTube. What are influencers, by the way? Those are people who have a large social media following in a specific niche that they are actively engaged with. So they can be bloggers, experts, content creators, or YouTube stars. So influencers can be much cheaper than traditional marketing while targeting the exact audience you're looking to attract. So influencer marketing involves befriending and partnering with key influencers within your target audience to endorse your products, co-create valuable content, and organically build brand awareness. All right. So there are a lot of tools where you can get influencers to help you with your marketing efforts. So here is a list, a non-exhaustive list of tools and sites that can help you in your influencer marketing efforts. So you have Hipsy, you have BuzzSumo, you have Scrunch, you have BuzzStream, you have Octoly, Webfluential, Fimbit, Aspire IQ. Now we're going to put the list on the screen for you. Keep in mind that there is still a lot to cover. Goals, how to approach an influencer, how to build an outreach template, tracking ROI, and how to nurture the relationship once you connected. Right? I'm only scratching the surface of influencers here and influencer marketing. So be sure to check out the resources on your own, like the resources of influencer marketing, before reaching out to one. Now let's talk about tracking and measuring. Now, when it comes to tracking and measuring, you want to be very clear about what your goals are. Because with all the work that goes into improving your SEO, you want to be sure that your investment is worth the effort, especially if you have invested in professional help. So in this section, I want to take a look at the KPIs, the key performance indicators you should be tracking, and how you can use them to understand what's working, what's not, and what to do when you notice things are not performing as smoothly as expected. So you have the SEO tracking tools. What are those tools that you can use to see your KPIs? You can use Google Analytics. There's another one called Google Analytics. Is pretty cool. It's pretty comprehensive. You can also reach out to others such as Matomo or Clicky to start gathering the necessary data. Now you can also use Google Search Console, which is a free service that helps you understand how your site is doing in Google search results. So you can, and to do this is very simple. All you have to do is set up Google Search Console, run an inspection, and submit your sitemap to Google. I've already covered that in another show. You also have Google Analytics. This is meant for both small and large online businesses. So this will provide granular insight on how Google views your online store, how shoppers engage via search engines, what keywords are the most fruitful, and more. What about the KPIs? The KPIs for a successful SEO campaign are the following. You have keyword rankings, backlinks, page speed, organic traffic, click-through rate, bounce rate and exit, and pages per session. Keyword rankings are very important. I also kind of covered that before, but what I'm trying to say here is that you just want to make sure that you do your best. Unless you have the budget for it, don't go after the very competitive ones. Go for the less competitive ones. You also want to pay attention to backlinks. So backlinks, as we said before, you want to reach out to bloggers. You want to use resources as diverse as Ahrefs to see what your competitors are using. You can also use SEMrush's backlink audit. You can use Moz's Link Explorer, or Majestic. You can use the referral report found after. You can use also other tools to see what's really working or not. What about page speed? Very important. I've said this before. It has to be less than 2 seconds. Otherwise, Google is just downgrading the authority of your website, and you don't want that. What about organic traffic? There is no better way to measure the direct impact of your SEO efforts than measuring organic traffic. Improving the visibility of your brand in search results is one of the primary goals of any SEO campaign. So organic traffic represents all the visitors to your site solely through searches from search engines like Google, Yahoo, and Bing. Note that this does not include traffic from paid sources like Google Ads. So this is also very important. You also want to think about click-through rate, the CTR. This should be another KPI on your tracking list. This is the percentage of searchers who click through to your page after seeing it in search results. For example, if 10 different people saw your results, but only one clicked it to visit that page, your CTR will be 10%. This KPI is one of the most important indicators and the best indicators of how effective your title tags and meta descriptions are at grabbing a viewer's attention in search results. It's important to note that CTR and keyword rankings have a codependent relationship though, so improving one can help improve the other. So, and you also have the bounce rate and edit and exit. This is also important to check to make sure it's low. Pages per session, that's another KPI that you should be paying attention to. And e-commerce analytics is also very important. We're going to cover that in another show, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it here. So folks, we are actually near the end of today's conversation, and before I go, I want to give you a checklist. our SEO checklist and give you an idea of some of the things you should be looking for, you should be paying attention to make sure that you are on the right path. Now, what about the setup? You can see on the screen right now, we have the checklist here. You have for the setup, you want to apply a domain, apply an SSL, and enable site-wide HTTPS. You want to verify your domain and submit your sitemap with Google and Bing. Set up Google Search Console. Set up Google Analytics and sync it with Google Search Console. That's on the setup side. Research. Market research. Gather initial keywords by getting to know your target audience through primary and secondary research. Create a spreadsheet to keep track of what you find. Create a list of potential ideas that can be used in creating. What about keyword research? Continue adding keywords to your list. Use tools like Google Ads Keyword Planner, Ahrefs, or SEMrush to find additional keywords. Your list should contain short tail and long tail keywords. Try to generate keyword themes. Focus on a primary keyword with 4 to 5 secondary keywords for each of your important pages. Rights. The right here is add your main keyword and secondary keywords to your important pages first. Write your content with the shopper in mind, not search engines. Avoid keyword stuffing. I said that before. Avoid duplicate content. Create unique content for every page. The home page. You want to fill out the page title. Then you want to fill out the page meta description. You want to add keywords to the carousel, keywords to banners, image descriptions, alt tags to all of your images. That's critical. You want to link to testimonials, content pages, and top sellers. For the web pages, add content web pages such as Our Story or About Us. Create a blog and create a unique piece of content derived from your market and keyword research. Make sure these pages are visible from the home page. Each page will also have fields where you can specify the page title and meta description. If you are including images in your content, be sure to add image descriptions alt tags. What about the products? Of course, we're talking about an online store here, so you want to focus on your top sellers first. Create an action plan for getting everything filled out. So if you have a lot of products, you may want to bulk edit with a CSV file. You also want to fill out page titles. So those are the title tags. Fill out meta descriptions. Add image descriptions for every product image. Enhance the product description with images, testimonials, and videos. What about the category pages? Those should include high quality, relevant imagery and help shoppers navigate deeper into your store. Add image descriptions and to any imagery used. Fill out titles, page titles, the title tags. Fill out meta descriptions, and the category headings and descriptions should include relevant keywords. How about building links? So you can conduct a competitor backlink analysis with tools like Site Explorer, that's from Ahrefs, Link Explorer from Moz, and Backlinks for SEMrush. Review your results for backlink opportunities. Use tools like BuzzSumo, FameBit, BuzzStream, and Hipsy to find influencers that resonate with your target audience. Partner with influencers to help promote your brand and create valuable content. How do you track and measure? You need to track and measure. Track and measure your SEO using key performance indicators, the KPIs. Use analytics software such as Google Analytics, Clicky, or Matomo to start gathering the necessary data. Create a plan for how often to check and record your progress. In Google Analytics, you have to pay attention to a few things here. So real-time reports, those monitor the immediate impact on things like promotion, sales, blog, and social posts to understand where your traffic is coming from. Audience reports, acquisition report, behavior report, conversion reports. And conversion reports is kind of important too because you can view the conversion rates, transactions, and revenue information. And e-commerce analytics. You can, in every platform provider from BigCommerce to Shopify to 3dCart or Wix, they have built-in analytics that allow you to see how well your SEO efforts are impacting your bottom line. All right, folks. This is it for today. I really appreciate having you around. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.